Happy holidays, everybody. It's Daylise, also known as the Glamorous Granny #7 on TikTok. Got my little holiday festivities on. Hold on. Gotta put them on right. I'm my elf. Gonna read to you today from the book Everything Happens for a Reason. Can we see that? Connecting the dots. If you're hungry to discover the meaning of some event in your life, remember that you've been in a cosmic kindergarten for quite a while now. Maybe you've already found out the meaning of this event and made have made very good use of it. But like Adam, you just don't realize it yet. All you need to do is look at what you've got in your life right now. That means the most to you. Connect the dots. Remember, connect the dots. It'll come out to a dog or anything. Balloon, connect the dots in your life. There's some really tough events that happened a while back. You know, you were needing to become stronger in some way. There, this wonderful thing in your life right now, even if it's just a possibility. Okay, then, bad event, becoming stronger. Wonderful life right now. Just connect the dots. See? The bad event gave you the strength you needed in your foundation to make possible what's wonderful in your life right now. For example, one guy got laid off, was unemployed for 6 months, got a new job, got laid off again, and was unemployed for a year before he found a decent job. This was painful and scary, period. The bad event, never again, he said. He then dedicated himself to going back to school and upgrading his skills, the stronger foundation. By doing this, he actually created a meaning for what happened to him out of what he did in response to it. This happened almost 20 years ago, and this guy has never stopped working and growing the wonderful life he made for himself. But not everyone has an easy time connecting the dots. That's because not everyone can see what there is to connect to the dots. Everyone who answered yes to four or more of the questions here has become stronger in some important way. That's the meaning of what happened for them. But not everyone has built on this strength. Maybe that's why it was hard for you to connect the dots. If that you by themselves foundations are sort of useless looking white elephant kind of things. There's no reason to have a foundation unless you build on it. The important thing is strengthening your foundation. And if the meaning of what happened to you lies here, you have strengthened your foundation. You've taken all but the last step. But of course, as the man said, who was running to hop on a ferry and fell in the water, it's the last step that gets you every time. You're probably much closer than you think. Connect the dots in your life. Next section, if I could only do this. I was interviewing a young woman, Miss Myra. She was interviewing a young woman, Lisa, who progressively lost almost all her hearing with little prospect that she get it back. We communicated by email, like most who have a loss like this as an adult. Lisa was deeply discouraged. I asked Lisa the diagnostic questions in this chapter. She answered yes to all of them. She found herself feeling uncomfortable. She couldn't see how she'd strengthened her foundation, and she was sure she had done anything to build on it. Here's what Lisa said. In the weeks after I learned that I was going to go deaf, I started thinking, okay, I'm going to have to compensate for this, like the way Ray Charles compensated for being blind, being a really great singer and a piano player. You know, we we cripples and gimps have to find our compensation. But how? I can't sing. But then I realized that it it doesn't have to be singing. The important thing is finding something I could do really well. Then, as I was going through rehab, I realized for the first time that I had the drive to be able to do something really well. So, what do I do now? Lisa said, I want to do something really well, but I don't know what. How can this somehow be the meaning of what happened to me? To feel good and strong, knowing that I won't do something really well, but then not know what it is. Why is it so important to you to do something really well? That's not a hard question, Lisa said. I want to feel good about myself. I want to accomplish something. I want something that can never be taken away from me. So ask yourself this: what would you like to have in your life that can never be taken away from you? You said that you really connected with the idea of some of your life where you wanted to do something really well. Can you try to link those two thoughts, wanting to do something really well and wanting to have something that can never be taken away from you? Lisa didn't answer for a long time. Time stopped. She suddenly leaped forward with one word: pastry. Okay, I wanted to learn how to make fine pastries. Take the course you take to become a real pastry chef. After I learned that I was going deaf, I'd go out whenever I could and treat myself to a fine, fancy pastry at a good restaurant. I think most of us appreciate how delicious fancy desserts are, but I think, wow, someone actually made this. Well, all have these, like, if I could only do that moments. I don't know why this never occurred to me before. Here's this thing I want to do: have a real skill that could never be taken from me. And I couldn't see it until now. Lisa went on, my issues with loss are not going to stop. Maybe this isn't even rational. But when something really bad happens, your sense of security is gone. That's the difference between people like me and everyone else. Something happened to me and it just, I don't know how to put it. It just stopped me. But I wanted to get unfrozen. And I think everything we learn unfreezes us. Anything that gives us meaning, what it really does is unfreeze us from our past and give us a future. All I could do was say, awesome. If you're like Lisa and you know that the meaning of what happened was to strengthen you, to maybe asking for what? The answer is that now it's is the time to dream. If something happened to you that was big enough to leave you hungry to understand its meaning, and if you answer yes to 4 of the diagnostic questions here, it was big enough to strengthen you in an important way. And if you've been strengthened in an important way, then you know now have the basis for something big in your life. The bad event gave you strength you needed and your foundation to make possible the next wonderful thing in your life. So, for God's sake, don't blow it now. Dream. Dream your dream, make it happen. And if you don't know your dream yet, look at the way your foundation has been strengthened. The new foundation is probably pointing straight at you. What would you want? Something that you've not been able to admit to yourself? Maybe. I shouldn't talk about a dream. For most of us, it doesn't take much to give us a sense that we redeemed our past. If it's something you care about or genuinely like, and it builds on the foundation strength by your loss, it will make you feel as if you redeemed your past, but you have to go out there and make it real. Next section is making it real. Almost there. In sight of without change is like an engagement without a marriage. It's all wind up, no delivery. Insight is not a cure by itself. We have to turn a new vision into a new and better life. I like that. We have to turn a new vision into a new and better life. I'm not saying it's easy to do. I'm not saying we even know what to do right away. But I deeply believe that finding a way to change ourselves and our lives is the point of our struggle to find meaning. So don't cheapen the meaning of what you went through by failing to build on the new foundation you've been given. I know this holds us to a tough standard. It's easier to think that some major insight by itself will rearrange the neurons in our brain to improve these things. I wish I were I wish it were that simple, but before we had that insight, we did things that hurt us and lived lives that weren't good for us. Our insight alone won't change. We, what we do and how we live, only changes things. Think of it as this. Suppose you were growing a rose and they start dying because you didn't know how to take care of them. Then suppose you make some discovery about roses cultivating. That's great, but it won't do anything for those roses in your garden. You now have to use what you learned to go out there and do some new and different things for your roses. Only then will they come back to life. I like that. The metaphor of a rose. You just can't go out there working on stuff and planting stuff and doing stuff if you ain't studied about it. Researching. Research, write it down, write the vision, make it plain. But the point of this chapter was make it real, bring it to life. Remember, the bad event gave you the strength you needed in your foundation to make possible the next wonderful thing. Got it right. That's good. I like that. And affirmation of the day. You deserve love. You deserve peace. You deserve financial stability. You deserve to be in your own space. You deserve. Because you ask and you shall receive. Matthew 7:17. Peace. Remember to smile. Remember to smile. Study with excitement. Meditate with intentions. Inspire others. Laugh hysterically and elevate. Remember to study, meditate, inspire, laugh, and elevate. Peace. Shift your energy. The book is by Mira Kirschbaum. Everything happens for a reason. This is your reader dailies. Have a good one.